Laquita Davis with Committed to Scholar Athlete Source, here with Coach Christopher Jackson at Stuttgart High School. How are you doing today, Coach?
I'm great. It's really good to have you. Super excited. The kids are excited. The community is excited. And we just want to get going.
Yes, sir. We're just thankful to be here. You know, a vision of mine was to be able to help students not only stateside but international as well. So I just personally thank you for this opportunity, this open door, in hopes that it continues to flow and more doors to continue to open. So thank you so much, Coach.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine. You're actually making history with us. We've never done this before, so thank you.
All right, Coach. Well, tell me about yourself, your name, your hometown, a little bit about your background, your coaching playing experience. You just, it's your time to shine.
Okay, well, again, I'm Coach Jackson. I'm from Virginia. I'm from a very small town called Rough Creek, Virginia. A lot of people laugh at me because they don't believe it's a city until they actually Google it. So I have been very fortunate. I married a wonderful young lady, Nikisha Jackson, who's worked for the government since we've been married, and I've been very fortunate to travel the world, a lot of the United States. I'm in my 25th year coaching. I was able to coach in Baltimore, Maryland. I was able to coach in New York, all over Virginia, and finally settled here in Dodea, where I've been able to kind of put my staple on a program that was kind of in shambles when I first started. So I have three beautiful kids. My oldest son, Trent Jackson, is a Division I football player. My son Tyler is a senior point guard this year with several college offers, and my freshman Layla Jackson also made the basketball team this year. So we are a sports-oriented family, and we just believe in giving and helping and being nice to people. So
So, Coach, within your 25 years of coaching, were those different levels, middle school, high school, or all high school, or?
Very, very fortunate to do every level. I mean, I did CYS level, I did middle school level, junior varsity, and then varsity. And all of it has given me the opportunity to understand how to build a program and what the important aspects of a program are. Initially coming in young, I always thought that it was all about basketball. And I found out very quickly that basketball was not nearly as important as there's so many other things. Doing the right thing on and off the court, the right thing in school, the right thing in your community. So I was able to develop over the years a philosophy that I was able to share with young individuals to get them to understand that basketball is just a vessel to teach you everything else.
So since we're on the topic of programs, what are your program goals, your program visions?
Well, when kids come through the door, the goal is to win, right?
Yes, sir.
But when they say the goal is to win, they don't understand that it's really not to win the game. The goal is to win every moment, every day, every practice, win in everything you do. Just try to figure out how to win in everything you do, and usually the end result will take care of itself. And I constantly try to get them to understand that you want the adversity. Tim Bennett, from UVA's head basketball coach, who now retired, he had the best saying, Tony Bennett, he had the best saying I ever had, which was, adversity, if you use it the right way, it'll take you to a place you couldn't have gone any other way. So you need that adversity in order to get to where you really want to go, not just on the court, but in life.
Right.
And I never ever look at the scoreboard to justify whether we won or lost.
Right.
It's all the little things we did in between. So.
Great life lessons.
Yes, ma'am.
Great life lessons. So what are your core values as a coach?
I think number one, it's being accountable for your actions. Like accountability is huge for me because we're not going to always do the right thing. You have to hold yourself accountable and hold your teammates accountable, but more importantly, yourself.
Right.
Okay, and then you can go on to do other things. So accountability is big for us. That's the first thing. Second, believe it or not, is being nice. Just being good, being a nice human being. That's huge for us. So I tell my players all the time that in practice and in games, positivity is your job. Encourage each other, pick each other up. Let coaches explain to you what you're doing wrong. And usually we like to do that in practice because during the game, we need to move on to the next play. So accountability, encouragement, being nice, those things to me are what make the experience and the culture a good place to be.
Okay. So would you say those core values would be your foundation?
Absolutely, absolutely. And if you can't do those things, I tell kids even in trials, you can't be a part of the program. You have to be accountable and you have to be nice to people. Those two things are mandatory.
Right, right. So I know we established earlier that it's not all about winning, and winning comes in different forms, right? So how do you balance winning against the development of players, right? Because I've been in situations and I've seen situations to where you have a game that's on the line,
Right.
So absolutely want to win it. However, it's an opportunity to give a player an experience, right?
Right.
They need that moment to further develop them. So how do you balance winning against development of players?
I mean, it is extremely hard to do because in the heat of the moment, we play to win the game, right? You've heard that before. In the heat of the moment, in the battle of the moment, you want to win. The kids want to win. The fans want to see you win. That's why they're there. So that is a challenge every game. What I tell kids is you advocate for your playing time during practice. So when I get in a game and I know what you've done Monday through Thursday, I'm going to give the opportunity to the kid that has earned the chance to be in the game during that time. And that's a hard lesson for a lot of kids because a lot of kids have dreams and aspirations and hopes and beliefs that they're your Kobe Bryants or your Michael Jordans. But unfortunately, their dream doesn't match their talent. And we have to be able to tell them that. So right now we're in phase 1 of our season, and that's about learning your role. You're literally learning your role. And if you want to see a winning team, see 3 or 4 people on the bench who get no playing time, who are just as invested as the people on the floor. When you get that, you have a winning team. And I don't even care what the score is. That's just a winning team. So.
Upcoming season.
Oh, man.
Okay, it's game time, Coach.
Oh, man.
You know, what would you like for your team to accomplish this year?
Man, you know, we lost so many talented players over the last 2 years, being fortunate to win back-to-back championships. And what I really want these kids to do is find their own identity.
Okay.
I understand that they're tired of hearing how great last year's undefeated season was and how great it was to win the year before in triple overtime, our first championship ever. And what they want to do is, and what I want for them, is you establish who you are. Like, make sure they remember 2024, 2025's team. Forget the last 2. Who are you going to be? And I put the onus on them, okay? If you're going to be a cohesive brotherhood, then you're going to have to build that culture and be locked in, because we're not going to sacrifice it for you. But if you're going to be guys that at the end look back and say you didn't get to where you wanted to be, which is not to win a championship. It's to be a good team. It's to be good teammates, to be good brothers, to be friends off the court, to help each other, to lift each other up. You have to get there, and you want to get there your own way. So I just want them to find their own identity this year.
Well, speaking with your 2 players, the mindset that you've established in them is incredible. You know, team first, you know, the accountability. Also, they spoke about your defense, right? And so normally that's not a player's favorite aspect of the game. Let's just be honest. So would you expound on what's your defensive philosophy? Because it was amazing to not only see, but to feel their passion to play defense for you, right? And to put in that work and to know that their offense starts with defense. So what is your defense philosophy?
So first of all, I tell them 100% of the time, energy, effort, and attitude. If you can't bring me those things, you can't play basketball because I can't coach you. I need you to have energy 120%. The whatever meter of energy you can bring through the door, I want you at max 100%. And your effort has to be more than even you think you can do. And then your attitude has to be next play mentality, next play mentality. Once we establish those things, the reason why I have always been a defensive coach is because I know that there's only one Steph Curry in the world. Offense will come and go. I've seen the greatest shooters in the NBA have off nights. But if you really believe that defense first is the philosophy, and every time you score, you can't wait to get back on defense. I mean, invested in it, in love with it. You always have a chance to win a basketball game. And the last couple of years, that's exactly what we've done. Just 5 guys on the floor, no matter who I put in the game, that could care less about scoring. And you see it because when they do score, they're on defense before the basketball even hits the floor. And it's a wonderful thing when you get it established. because now it's the expectation. And I have leaders who tell people when they make the team, if you don't want to play defense, you need to go tell Coach Jackson you want to quit the team. I don't have to say it anymore because they know that it takes 5. And that 5, then it takes 10, then it takes the whole program, which is 24. And everybody has to be willing to play defense.
So how does the defense mindset initiate your offense?
Well, amazingly, we've had some kids who believed in pressure and established great communication.
Okay.
And oh my gosh, we were able to score at such a high rate without even getting into offensive sets. It's been ridiculously rewarding to watch. However, when we've had to get in offensive sets, our kids then start to understand that if I take care of the basketball and I get a good shot, it doesn't even matter if I miss. And why is that? Because I'm going to play defense.
Right.
I'm running your offense, coach. I got a good shot. Okay, I missed it. Don't worry, because they're not scoring. I guarantee you that. And when they do score, the philosophy is, well, you're not going to score the next time, and the next time, and the next time, and the next time. And you look up, and this is not me bragging, this is just reality. You look up and you've just set several records over the past couple of years. We've set several defensive records that's never been done in no defense. So super proud of them.
So I've definitely heard the perspective, which I'm sure you have, a shooter. I don't miss 2 in a row, right? But I've never experienced hearing, your defensive philosophy, and it makes sense. Your 2 athletes they were just like, I get a rebound, I'm not worried about it. He's gonna get the steal. They're selfless, right? And again, most offensive things, most games are fit offensively.
Absolutely.
The focus is offensively, and just to hear their passion for it. The passion not only to play defense, but the passion to prepare at that high level was incredible. And it speaks volumes. And like you said, half the time you don't even, get into a set.
No.
And so as a coach, that should be, as artists say, music to your ears.
Yes, it is. It really is.
Okay. So last question for you is as far as, your upcoming season, I would like to know, what techniques do you use to improve your team's mental toughness?
Man, so we talk about quotes all the time.
Okay.
Like we just, and I don't try to reinvent the wheel. Kobe Bryant talking about, I have nothing in common with lazy people. I don't know them. I don't understand them. I don't want to understand them. And we at the beginning of every practice, we have a talk before we even get into practice. The other day we talked about if you want to feel good, blame other people. If you want to get better, blame yourself. Like, what does that mean? Right? Because in these team games, you always want to say, he didn't cut, he didn't set the pick right, he didn't do this. Well, what about you? What did you not do?
Right.
And so we're constantly challenging them mentally. Dawn Staley is my favorite coach of all time.
Yes.
I love her to death. But there was a young lady, I think her last name is Lawson, who's the head basketball coach for Duke. And she was saying that life doesn't get easier, you just get better at handling it hard. And I've been able to use that philosophy the last couple of years with these guys. Like, the game doesn't get easier, you just get better at handling the tough situations. And then we talk about what those situations are, and we try to prepare, because you're going to fail. But what's going to happen when you fail, right? And we just try to prepare to bounce back and keep going. So
I admire the balance because, teachers or coaches, for instance, it's, you give the speech, right? Some coaches do it, but having the opportunity will give the athletes an opportunity to speak, right? And so one thing that I've learned with that, having coaches to do that, you learn a different perspective, right? So how you see something, you may see it in a different way, just because the opportunity for everyone to speak is available. So I think that's great, and also allows them to be confident to speak, right? And we learn from each other. So
yes.
I think that's a great way to start off your practice, get your mindset together, and then to also just talk things through, because basketball, like I told them, sports, life lessons.
Right.
It's on and off the court. So I think that's like I said, incredible. Very incredible.
Thank you, and I know the communication is so key. I mean, you're an elite basketball player, so you understand. Teams that are able to communicate on and off the floor, even not even verbally sometimes, 2 years ago, man, I had a team that could just look at each other and they knew.
Just knew.
You need to cut here. You need to help the helper without even speaking.
Right.
And if you talk and learn to communicate and then you get to that level, I mean, you're just tough to beat.
Right.
Yeah, you're just tough to beat. Yeah.
And it makes your job a lot easier, right?
Oh my gosh, it almost made it too enjoyable. I mean, last year was the first time I didn't even use my clipboard.
Wow.
And I was like, I have to get back into using
Wow.
it was almost like I'm rusty now.
Wow.
Because I could say things without drawing it up and they knew exactly what to do. So yeah. And that's all on the kids.
Right.
Just having a great group of young men who understood.
Yeah, and also being invested.
And being invested, absolutely.
Okay, Coach. So what is the legacy that you would like to leave?
What I would hope, and I actually talk to my colleagues about this all the time, when they talk about Stuttgart boys basketball under my leadership, they don't even talk about the basketball. I hope they would talk about the character that those young men displayed in the school system, in the community. I hope they would talk about their genuine care for other people. I hope they would talk about something that they've told me before, which is my players typically do the right thing when no one's looking. And that's what we want, right?
Right.
And then in the end of that conversation, just maybe, they'll mention that we won 3, 4, or 5 championships. So that's really what I hope my legacy is.
Well, at the end of the interview, we have a game we play is quick pick.
Oh boy.
Okay. All right. So quick on your feet.
Okay.
3 seconds.
Okay.
Quick on your feet.
Okay.
All right. So I'll ask you a question and you'll give me a quick answer.
Okay.
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 So MJ or Kobe?
Kobe.
Pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
LeBron or Kobe?
Kobe.
Okay. NCAA or NBA?
NCAA.
Good answer. Good answer.
Yes.
It's a tough one. Barbecue or soul food?
Soul food. That is a tough one. Soul food. We're gonna go with soul food.
Okay. Defense or offense?
Defense.
Nikes or Adidas?
Nike.
Okay. Driving or flying?
Flying now.
Flying now?
Yeah.
Okay. Jordans or Air Forces?
Air Force Ones.
Okay.
And I know a lot of people like Jordans, but Air Force One's the best. White Air Force One's the best sneaker ever made.
Really?
Hands down.
Okay.
Hands down.
So you wear black?
No.
Black.
I don't wear the black.
Okay. 2-pointers or 3-pointers?
I was a shooter. 3-pointer.
Okay.
3-pointer.
And we didn't talk about that. So you're a shooter?
Yeah. I was a really, really good shooter. Was able to play with the military overseas, and then was
Okay.
able to play with the Feldbach Flasher
Okay.
professionally as a shooter. Second league now, decent league, but I could shoot it. I could
Shoot.
shoot it. Yeah, I could shoot it.
Okay. We might have to test it out today, coach.
I hope so.
Okay. Home game or away game?
Away games.
Yeah.
Love away games. Love going into somebody's backyard and making it our house. Love doing it.
That's interesting.
Love
because your players agreed on away games.
Mindset. It's a
Right,
mindset.
right. That's different.
Yeah.
You know, normally everyone say home, playing home,
No,
right?
We want to go out there and face it.
Right.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2 questions. This one is from a player perspective.
Okay.
Suicides or 21s?
I don't like them either, but I think a player would say 21.
21s? Okay. From a coaching perspective.
Okay.
Don't have too much fun with this, coach.
Yeah.
Suicides or 21s?
And we call them focus drills and line touches
Okay.
now, but I'll say suicides. But honestly, that's something else I learned in my coaching career is to let players dictate how much they run, which means if you're focused and you're in shape, we don't run a lot because we practice hard.
Right.
And if you're not in shape and you're not focused, then we got to do focus drills,
Right.
which is a lot of running.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's what we do.
4 quarters or 2 halves?
I think I like the 4 quarters because we get more breaks with our players.
Okay.
And I don't understand why the NCAA is different from NBA and high school. That makes no sense to me.
Right.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
But I would say the 4
4
quarters.
quarters? Okay. Summer or winter?
Oh, I'm a winter guy. I'm so glad it's cold and it snowed today. I hate summertime.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Last question.
Okay.
It's a tough one.
Okay, here we go.
Coach Jackson or Tyler Jackson?
Wow. Tyler Jackson all day. He has absolutely become, without me crying, one of the best young men and coaches I've ever had, players I've ever had. So, yeah.
Okay.
Tyler Jackson.
Well, Coach, I would like to take the time to commend you for all the work that you've done. Your program speaks volumes. Your athletes are from stepping in the gym, respectful, helpful, very mannerable. So I commend you for not only building them as better athletes, but young men. They can also succeed, but also be role models and pass down the same knowledge that you've taught them and showed them. And so you're important. And your work is shown, and I just genuinely want to commend you for that, because there's a need for individuals like you, and so it's a huge blessing. Again, I'm grateful and thankful for this opportunity, and thank you again for allowing us to be here and interview you, Coach.
Man, the pleasure's all mine. Can I give you a hug on camera?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
God bless you.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Good luck on the season.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Oh, man. Thank you. That's awesome. You are